It says Amit Limited was registered with a capital of rupees 5 lakh in shares of rupees 10 each, issued at 20,000 shares at a premium of 2 per share, payable as rupees 2 per share on application, 5 on allotment, including premium, 2 per share on first call, made 3 months later. All the money payable on application and allotment was duly received, but the first call was made on one shareholder, paid the entire balance on his shareholding of 300 shares, and another shareholders holding 1,000 shares failed to pay the first call money. Ask the journal entries to record the above transaction and show how they will appear in the company's balance sheet. All right. So, question. So, according to question, company Amit Limited is issuing 5 lakh shares. Sorry, Amit Limited is issuing shares having a value of 5 lakh at rupees 10 each. Issued 20,000 shares only. Okay, so authorized capital is 5 lakh, which is divided into 10 rupees share, and the total number of shares that company is currently issuing is 20,000. Okay, so all the information given here is according to the 20,000 shares being issued. First of all, let me write down the important element of this question. So, authorized capital is how much? It is 5 lakhs divided into 10 rupees share. That means total 50,000 shares are there for this company, having a face value of 10 each. And out of this, company have decided to issued capital is how much? Issued capital is company have decided to issue 20,000 shares. All right, at rupees 10 each, having a face value of 10 each, but at a premium of rupees 2. So company basically want to raise 2,40,000 by issuing 20,000 shares. Got it? Company want to raise how much fund? Company want to raise 2,40,000 from public by issuing 20,000 shares having a face value of 10 each, but at a premium of 2 rupees. Now company tells us about the way they are going to receive this payment. So company says that we will be collecting 2 rupees on application, rupees 2 per share. Then on allotment, we will be receiving 5 per share, including premium, 5 rupees, including premium basically means 3 rupees for the allotment and 2 rupees of premium. We will be receiving that on allotment. Then we will be receiving some amount on first call as well. On first call, we will be collecting 2 per share on first call. 2 per share on first call. Okay. And apart from this, no information about the final call is given. So that means in this question, company is just called up. Total called up capital of the company will be 5 plus 2 plus 2. 5 plus 2. That means this will be 9. Totaling this will be, this is the called up capital. Called up. Total 9 rupees has been called up. That include 7 rupees of the face value of the share plus 2 rupees for the premium of share. Got it? This is not the total value of the company is not raising entire 10 rupees of the share. Instead, company just called for application, allotment and first call Remaining will be called on final call, but as of now, company just called up 9 rupees. Got it? Is that clear? Company did not made the final call as of now. Company will be calling that amount later. Got it? Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir, but isn't it supposed to be 10 rupees in the question? It is 10.
Just a minute, Alexander. Just a moment. There's an important call. And let me receive that call and I'll answer your question.
Okay.
Yes, Alexander. Your question, please.
Yes, sir. I was asking, it's 9 rupees here, but in the question it said 10 rupees. No?
Yeah, that is what I'm telling you. Na? The total face value of the share is 10 rupees. I'm not saying this is not the total face value. This is the called up amount. Company have called rupees 2 on application, 5 on allotment, and 2 rupees on call. Company did not ask for the remaining amount. How much is still remaining? You tell me
1
how much is still remaining? 3 rupees, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But company did not call for that amount. Company will be calling for that amount later. Let me write that. If you want me to do that, let me do that. We can also write it like this. Final call on final call, how much we will be collecting? On upon final call, the remaining amount will be called 3 plus 2, 5 plus 2 plus that means just a minute. On final call, company will be receiving 3 rupees per share. Now totaling this, it should be equal to 12 rupees, right? That means have face value 10 rupees and 2 rupees for premium. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I understood now.
Got it? But the thing is that question says that company did not call for the final call yet. They will be calling for it. They will be asking for the final call to make by the people later. Right now, they are just asking for the first call only. The question is not telling us about anything about the remaining amount. How should we treat that? So that means company is not calling for the final payment. Got it? If you want to write it this way, you can write it. Anyways, so question is asking us to pass the journal entries and record the above transaction and show the balance sheet. Okay, so let's just quickly first of all prepare the balance sheet. Good. As the journal entry. Okay, so the first thing, first journal entry for the application. On application, do you remember what is the journal entry that we passed on application? One application of share, journal entry will be, first of all, bank account will be debited.
To equity share application.
Equity share application, right? And how much we are going to collect on application? Rupees 2. For the issued share, we have issued 2,000 shares, 20,000 shares, and we will be collecting 2 rupees on application. So that means 20,000 into 2, that means 40,000. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, apart from this, we need to pass the journal entry for the transfer of share application to share capital. So for that purpose, the journal entry will be equity share application. To share capital. All right, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll do the journal entry for the allotment. On allotment, we need to pass the journal entry for making it due first, and then for collecting the allotment amount. So for making it due, the journal entry will be equity share application, sorry, equity share allotment account to share capital, right? And on allotment, we have, all right, so there is a security premium as well. So the journal entry for this will be to equity share allotment to share capital, and we have received premium of rupees 2. Okay, so to security premium reserve, or you can simply write down security premium account. All right, is that clear? So total share is 20,000 and allotment money is 5. So total of 1 lakh rupee we will be collecting, and share capital will be debited by 3 per share. So that means 60,000 on share capital and 40,000 for the security premium reserve. All right, is that clear? Everyone, is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay, and now we will pass the journal entry for the collection of the allotment money. For the allotment money received. So the journal entry for that is bank account debit, right? Bank account debit to equity share allotment. One lakh. All right, this is the journal entry for allotment. Now, on first call, equity share first call account to share capital. Okay, now there is an important information given in the question regarding the what do we call it? Yeah, first call. In question, it says that, let me read it. See, it says all the money. I'm reading the fifth line, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, sixth line. In the sixth line, it says all the money payable on application and allotment was duly received. All right. So we have received all the money from 20,000 shares regarding the application allotment. But when the first call was made, one shareholder paid the entire balance on his holding. Entire balance means the first call as well as the final call. He just not paid the first call. Along with the first call, he also paid for the final call. Even though the final call is not yet made, he paid for the final call, you can say, on advance basis. Can we say that? He just asked for the first call, but along with the first call, he also paid for the final call. Since in the question it says he paid for the entire balance. That means along with the first call, he must have paid the final call as well for 300 shares. Yes or no? Is that point clear? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And further it says that another shareholder holding 1,000 shares failed to pay the first call. And one of the shareholder who was holding 1,000 shares did not even pay the first call. Even after asking for the payment, he did not make the payment of the first call. That means these calls are still in arrears. The payment regarding 1,000 shares are in arrears. Is that right? Audit. So the journal entry for this will be, since we received the, you can say, the first call, we received the entire payment against 300 share on advance basis, and for 1,000 share we did not even receive the call money. So first of all, the due, there will be no effect upon the entry for the due. The entry for the due will be same. Equity share first call account debit to share capital account.
Sir, isn't it equity share capital to share first call when it's due?
For making it due, no, it should be
Yes,
equity
sir.
share first call. Equity share first call to share capital. Every time we pass the same entry, na. For making it due, the general entry will be same: equity share allotment to share capital, equity share application to share capital. Similarly, equity share first call account debit to share capital.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it?
Yes, sir.
Am I
Yes.
making a mistake?
No, sir. It's correct.
It's correct, na? So now see, what is the total amount due on first call? Total amount due on first call. How much? Sir, on 20,000 shares, shareholder need to pay 2 rupees per share on first call. So the total amount due is 40,000, right? 40,000. Now, when it comes to the receipt of money, what happens? That one of the shareholder holding 300 shares made the payment, entire payment along with the first call. He also made for the paid the final call. Let me pass the journal entry for the receipt of payment. That will be bank account will be debited. Bank account will be debited by what amount? Bank account will be debited by what amount? Any idea? Any idea? No? Okay. Let me see. Bank account debit to, first of all, bank account debit to share first call. This is the journal entry, na? First call account. First of all, let me write this 20,000 into 2, 40,000 will be credited to share first call account, 40,000. Now, there are few shareholders who did not paid the first call money on 1,000 share. On 1,000 shares, call money, which is rupees 2, is still due. That means 2,000 rupees is still in arrear. Can we call it calls in arrear? Can we say that? Yes or no? 1,000 shares, shareholder holding 1,000 share did not paid 2 rupees on first call. That means total amount due toward such shareholder is 2,000. Yes or no? So can we call it calls in arrears? Yes or no? Calls in arrears is rupees 2,000. Can we say that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If a shareholder fails to pay the amount, so it will be called call.
These shareholders were required to pay first call at rupees 2 per share. But these shareholder holding 1,000 share did not make the first call. So basically, this is calls in area, and calls in area always debited. We did not receive the payment. We will write this as calls in area account debit. Calls, let me use some different color just to differentiate. Calls in area account will be debited. By what amount? 1,000 into 2 per share. That means 2,000. Alright. And there is one more important point which is given in the question, that there was one shareholder holding 300 shares. We made the entire payment at once. Alright. That means along with the first call, we also paid the final call. He also paid final call. So now how much he must have paid along with what was the amount of final call? Final call was rupees 3. Next amount. Yeah. So final call was of 3 rupees. Now see, apart from paying for the first call, he also paid for the final call. That means he paid 3 rupees extra. Final call was of 3 rupees. Na? He paid 3 rupees per share extra in advance. Final call is not even yet made. He paid 3 rupees on advance for 300 share. That means this is the advance payment that we have received against the share. So this is called calls in advance. Just like the called up amount which is not yet paid is called calls in arrears. Similarly, amount which is not yet called up but still paid by the shareholder is called calls in advance. And just like calls in arrears are debited, calls in advance are always credited. 2, we'll write this as 2 calls in advance. Calls in advance account. How much amount we have received on advance basis? We have received for 300 share 3 rupees per share on advance. 3 rupees for what? 3 rupees for the final call. He had to pay for the first call only, but he paid for the final call as well, because question says that he made the entire payment at once. So 900 need to be credited. All right, is that correct? Got it, everybody? Now you need to tell me how much I should debit, by what amount I should debit the bank account with. What amount needed to be written here in the bank account? We will be finding out the difference. 40,900 minus 2,000. Remaining amount, the difference that we get, need to be debited to bank account. 38,000. It should be, I guess, 38,900. So 38,900. Tell me, everybody, is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Mariam, Abin, Alima, Alexander. Is anyone
Yes.
having any doubt? All right. So this was a little complicated point, which I guess because it is difficult. If anybody wants me to explain this again, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll move to the balance sheet part of this question. Question also requires us to prepare the balance sheet. Now,
Sir, can you show the first entry?
show the first entry. First entry is for the application. Done? Shall we
Yes,
move
sir.
to the next? Question also requires us to prepare the balance sheet as per obviously schedule 3. We need to prepare the balance sheet as per schedule 3. Balance sheet of A Limited. Note number, then amount. First thing that we need to write down under the balance sheet is the equity and liabilities. And under equity and liability, first item is shareholders fund. All right, and under the category of shareholders fund, we will be writing down the value of the share capital. For this purpose, we'll have to make a notes to account. Let me write that as note number 1. And for the reserve and surplus as well, we will be making another working note. Notes to account, reserve and surplus. All right, then after this, we need to write down the current liabilities as well, because this time we have calls in advance as well now, so we need to write that under the current liability column. Current liability. Current liability, and under current liability we will be writing down the value of the calls in advance. All right. Okay, so this will be our equity and liability section. The total is here, and then we need to show the asset as well. Second component of the balance sheet. asset. And as you have already covered this thing earlier, that under the category of asset, we have different category of asset, non-current asset. Non-current assets include plant and machinery, building, furniture, all these things. And then we have one more category which is called the current asset. If you are able to recall, current asset. And under current asset, we have an item called cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalent. And to write down the value of the cash and cash equivalent as well, we need to prepare notes to account. All right, and after writing down the value here, we will total it and ensure that both the part of the balance sheet tally. All right, everybody, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, non-current assets don't have any note number.
Yeah, see, I'm not writing any note number because we have nothing under the non-current asset. In this question, we have current liability, we will have cash and cash equivalent, but we don't have anything under the non-current asset. In fact, if you wish, if you are not willing to write this down, you can skip it as well. For now, for in this particular question, non-current asset is not required because there is no item that will fall under the non-current asset.
Okay,
Got
so
it?
there are 4 items.
So therefore, we won't be required to make any notes to account. Therefore, I'm not giving any number to this. Got it? Now
Got
let's
it.
prepare notes to account. For that purpose, we'll have to make a separate working note. Notes to account. First of all, we'll write down the note number here. Then particulars and obviously amount. Sorry. Okay, so the first note that we need to prepare is for the share capital. Share capital, and for share capital, we will be writing the share capital in detail. First of all, we'll write down the authorized capital that we already know. Authorized capital for this company is 50,000 shares into 10 each. That means total authorized capital is 5. All right. Then after the authorized capital, we'll write down the issued capital. Issued capital is also easy. 20,000 shares have been issued. Having a face value, we'll write the face value here only. 10 each. That means total issued capital is 2 lakh. And then finally, subscribed capital. Subscribed and basically subscribed and called up capital. Subscribed and called up capital. This 20,000 shares has been subscribed, having a face value of 10 each. 10 each. But only 7 per share has been called up. 7 rupees per share is called up money. So the total amount that has been called up is 1,40,000. 20 into 7, 1,40,000 has been called up from the shareholder. And out of the called up money, 1,000 shareholders did not make the first call, right? 2 rupees each. So this is called calls in area. We have already discussed this point that whenever there is calls in area, we need to indicate it after, with the subscribed capital by subtracting the subscribed capital. Calls in areas will be shown as calls in areas. This is how we will show that 20,000, 1,000 shares. For 1,000 share, 2 rupees on first call is not yet paid by the shareholders. So that means 2,000 is still due. So the total paid up capital, total subscribed and paid up capital is how much? Only 1,38,000. Got it? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
This is our account notes to account number 1. Everybody written this down? Anyone still writing it?
And
And now we'll go to the balance sheet and write down this value. The balance sheet 1,38,000. Yeah. Done, everyone? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about the what more are we required to find out? We're required to find out the reserve and surplus, security, premium reserve. That is easy. We just collected 2 rupees on premium, na, along with the allotment money. So notes to account number 2. Second. This is called reserve and surplus. Reserve and surplus. We have collected securities premium reserve. On 20,000 shares, we collected 2 rupees for premium. That means 40,000 has been collected as a premium. And we will be writing that as well in the balance sheet. Right? We'll go to the balance sheet. Under the reserve and surplus, we'll write this. Right? And now we need to find out the current liabilities as well. And for that purpose, we'll make an extra working note. Under current liability, what will fall under the current liability? The advances, calls in advance that is paid by the shareholder. Calls in advance which is paid by the shareholders will be written under the current liabilities. Okay, since the call is not yet made and shareholders decided to pay the money, that will fall under the liability. That is a current liability. So we'll write this as other current liabilities. Just a moment. For other current liability, under other current liability, we'll write down calls in advance. We collected on 300 shares. We have received 3 per share for the final call on advance basis. So that means only 900 rupees has been collected in advance. This will be written here in the balance sheet. We'll write this 900. And now we'll total this amount. And then after totaling this, it could be 1,38,000 plus 40. That means 1,78,900. So 1,78,900. All right, everyone. Is clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now let's talk about the notes to account number 4, which is cash and cash equivalent. We already know. If you want to make an extra note for that, in fact, you will have to prepare an extra note. Notes to account number 4. For the cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalent amount will be, and under this we will write down cash and bank. Cash or bank that we have received. Total amount that is collected on account of issue of share is how much? We have collected, just a minute. We have to consider the journal entries. So we collected 38,900 on the final call, first call. Then on allotment we collected 1 lakh. So this sum total of 1 lakh and 38 is 1,38,900. And on application we have received 40,000. So that means 1,78,900 we have collected through the process of issue of shares. That we can write down here in this working note. 1,78,900. Got it? Understood? How did we come to 1,78,900? We received 40,000 on application. We received 1 lakh on allotment and 38,900 on final call. Is that clear, everybody? Anyone having any doubt? Now we can simply write this value here in the balance sheet. 1,78,900. And now we will total this value. You will notice that both the aspect of the balance sheet is having the same value, 1,78,900. Got it? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yes, sir.
Mariam, Malima, any doubts? Anybody want me to show any working note of this question? No doubt. All right. Okay. And I think there was one more homework question that we were not able to solve in the previous session because there was some mistake in that question. That was, yeah, this question, I think. Na? So there is a correction in this question. Instead of rupees 10,000, in the first line, it should be 10 lakh. Actually, but it was formed with a capital of rupees 10 lakh divided into shares of rupees 10 each. All right. So let me show you how we will solve this question. This was question number 21. So someone was having some problem with this question as well. So first of all, since the question requires us to find out the authorized capital, question requires authorized capital. Then apart from authorized capital, we need to find out the issued capital as well in this question. Then after issued capital, we need to find out the subscribed capital. Then called up capital. After that, we need to find out paid up capital. Then finally calls in areas. Alright, so first thing, as it is given in the question that the authorized capital, it says in the question itself that this company was formed with a capital of rupees 10 lakh. So this is the authorized capital. Yes or no? This is the authorized capital itself, 10 lakh. This is the authorized capital. Got it, everyone? Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Certain.
Then question, then it says it offers 90% shares for subscription. 90% shares for subscription. That means it is the issued capital. So out of 10 lakh, %90 shares were issued. So that means issued capital was 9 lakhs. All right. After that, it says 40% payable on application, 25% on payable on allotment, and balance on final call. The application paid for 3,60,000. The application paid 3,60,000. Application on application and 1,69,000 on allotment. Final calls had not yet been made. Okay. Can anyone please tell me the subscribed capital for this question? Anybody please tell me the subscribed capital for this question? Since nothing is given in the question, we can simply presume that the entire shares were subscribed. Whatever the shares that were issued to public, completely subscribed. So issued subscribed capital will be equal to issued capital itself. Assuming all issued shares.
Sir, we can't see the board.
Assuming all shares were subscribed. All right. Then question further tells us that company have decided to collect 25%, 40% on application, 25% on allotment. That means total 65% amount has been called up and remaining 35% is not yet called up. So that means called up money will be, how do we calculate called up amount? How are we going to calculate called up amount? So it's very simple. Total subscribed capital is 9 lakh. Na? So out of 9 lakh, we have decided to raise 40% on application, 25% on allotment. So 40% plus 25% is how much? 65%. So we can just simply multiply 9 lakh by 65%. So multiplying 9 lakh by 65%, we will get, just a moment, let me calculate. 9 lakh multiplied by 65%. Yeah, so it will be 5,85,000. All right, is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
Is it clear, everybody? Okay. Then finally, question. Yeah. Then questions also tells us, apart from called up money, we need to find out the paid up capital. Okay. So the application paid, on application we have received 3,60,000. On allotment we collected 1,69,000. So the total paid up capital is how much? 360 plus 1,69,000. Na? So the total paid up capital is 3,60,000 on application and 1,69,000 on allotment. So total of it will be 3 lakh. Let me calculate. 3,60,000 plus 1,69,000. All right. So this is 5,29,000. 5,29,000 is paid. So see, we called for 5,85,000 out of 5,85,000. We have already received 5,29,000. Can you tell me how much money is not yet paid by the shareholders? Can we find out that? Yes, sir. We can find out the cost in area by simply subtracting 5,29,000 out of 5,85,000. Is that right? So this was the called up money, 5,85,000. Out of this, we collected 5,29,000. That means amount not yet paid, or the amount which is still in arrears, will be 5 lakh. Sorry, it could be 56,000 only. All right, everyone. Please confirm if this is clear or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear, okay. So this was all about question number 21. Everything is written. All of you, anyone is still writing this? Please confirm if all of you are done or not.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay.
Done.
So this was all about the question that we needed to discuss in the previous session, but however, because of the my mic, we were not able to solve this question in the previous session. Anyway, so now we need to start a new topic, which is forfeiture of shares. But since we do not have sufficient time left in this session, we won't be able to start this topic, I guess. Let's just start this topic afresh in the next class. Can we do that? But just do one thing. Kindly take the screenshot of this slide. Write down the theoretical part of this in your notebook. We'll start learning about the forfeiture of shares in the next class. All right, we'll talk about the forfeiture, meaning of forfeiture, and the accounting entries that we need to do in the situation of forfeiture of share, but that we will discuss in the next session. Right now, just take the screenshot of this. This is the meaning of the forfeiture of share. We will be going through this. We'll try to understand what is forfeiture of share in the next class, and we'll also learn about the accounting process or accounting treatment that we need to do in case of the forfeiture of the share. Forfeiture basically means cancellation of the already issued share to the shareholder. The share that we have already issued to the shareholder, in some situation, we need to cancel those issued share, and for that is considered as the forfeiture of shares. We forfeit the issued shares. So we'll talk about this topic in the next section. Kindly take the screenshot. This will be a homework. Write this entire theoretical part in your note. We'll discuss about this in the next session. I hope everything that we discussed in today's session is clear, everybody. Please confirm
Yes,
if it is
sir. It's
clear.
clear.
Only one slide.
Yeah, only one slide. We'll talk more about the forfeiture. In fact, we'll discuss this in detail in the next class only. We haven't yet started this topic at all. Okay, this is a very important topic. Make sure you don't miss this class. All right. So, okay. Eben, do you want to ask anything?